Hello and welcome to Tyas Looks At, and I bet no one would believe me when I say that the second half of this movie is a far lot stupider than the first half. I mean, the first half was dull as a box of rocks and about as funny, but this one just turns everything up to 11. But first, let's recap. There are villains after an inheritance. They are stupid. There are our so-called heroes who have nothing to do for the first half of the movie. They are stupid. There are subplots which go nowhere and add nothing to the already dull plot. They are stupid. This is the reviewer who decided to watch this movie. He is also stupid. Hey! We come back into the movie at night time, apparently, which either means that in fact it did take them most of a day to drive back to Uncle Randolph's, or that the sun went down almost immediately after the villains left. Either way...
Space is warped and time is bendable.
And the reason I bring this up is because of this.
Josh? Josh?
Yeah, they only noticed now that he was missing. Which means that either they just didn't notice the fact they hadn't seen him since Eddie left, or that somebody fucked up the continuity on it being day or night. And given that we can see blue peeking around the blinds, sunlight shining on the wall upstairs, and the very obvious shadow of blinds, I think we have our answer. I mean, I understand the need sometimes to have to shoot a day-for-night style shot, but when you're inside a building, and it shouldn't have turned to night yet in your film anyway, then what even the hell? Carl heads out to bring Josh back, and we get the first of many times where the sun apparently will disappear between shots. Made even more stupid by the fact that we don't actually need to see Carl driving away, so the film is actually calling attention to its shoddy production. At the lawyer's office...
Sir, may I be blunt? You sound to be, about 30, yes? Well, the real Edward St. John II is 12. It was in all the reports.
Who at this point I don't even think is an actual real lawyer. I'd feel safer being defended by Lionel Hutz.
So you don't work on a contingency basis?
No, money down. Oops, shouldn't have this bar association logo here either.
Eddie's mother appears, and instead of stating who she is straight away, we have to indulge in this completely idiotic moment.
Madam, it has been a most tiring day, so let's dispense with the pleasantries. Edward St. John II has been found. You are the wrong age, and frankly, the wrong gender to be him.
Okay, let's go in order of least stupid to most stupid about what's wrong with this scene. 1. Why didn't she state who she was straight away? 2. Why is the lawyer still fielding calls from people claiming to be Eddie when he knows he's already found him? 3. Why didn't the mother show the proof straight away, and why didn't the lawyer ask for proof straight away instead of dismissing her? And 4, and most frustrating of all, what is even the point of this scene? We already know that this is his mother, so any sort of reveal is wasted. Her contacting the lawyer serves no real purpose to the plot, other than giving credence to her sudden appearance at the end, which they could just say when she turns up. So I ask you, movie, I beg of you, explain to me why this scene is in the movie! However, we do learn one thing, though unintentionally, during the scene. Apparently, Olivia and Bernard haven't actually adopted Eddie yet. Which technically makes what they've done kidnapping. So, nice job there, Miss Hattigan. And yes, I know that's not the right name, but it works so well. Also, I just noticed that the lawyer's office appears to have no windows, which really seems odd. Hell, even the office in the series Daredevil had windows, and they were just starting out. Josh finds Eddie, and instead of running for their lives from the two people you heard planning to murder Eddie, decides to simply sleep until morning. Because remember how I said that this half was the stupider half of the two? Yeah, this isn't even the most stupid thing that they do. Meanwhile, with the gruesome what the hell is this shit?
Remember, it has to look like an accident. Did anyone ever tell you you have a terrible habit of repeating yourself?
That's funny, I keep saying the same thing to the movie, and that also doesn't get any better. Also,
I mean, what the fuck?
Wasn't your plan to chop his head off? Or simply push him down the stairs? Why do you need to dress up like a Scooby-Doo villain to scare him into falling down the stairs?
Now, hurry up. You have 2 minutes to get into position. I'm going to unlock the little troll's door.
Oh, for the love of... That plan didn't work in Father Ted. It's not going to work here either.
Ted, maybe the sound is coming from that stereo.
Olivia spies through a set of eye holes in a painting on Eddie, because, once again, cartoon villains, and for some reason continues to stare even after Eddie sees her, and she should have seen Josh as well. I'm not sure what part of this movie is worse, the script that forgets the context that its characters are in, or the editing that makes its characters look even more stupid than the script already did. Bernard tries to scare the boys, but they end up doing Gus is a table.
Gus is a table. Gus is a statue.
You're a sellout.
Eat lead, rust bucket.
Which for some reason does not crush Eddie underneath him, despite the fact that the suit of armour and a person would suddenly be pressing down on his back.
Let's get out of this nut house. What do you say?
Wait a minute, what was that?
Let's get out of this nut house. What do you say?
Oh, for the love of God. Okay, sound editor, you have joined the walk of shame for people who failed to do the most basic part of their jobs in this movie.
Golf clap. Golf clap.
Josh calls his mother to warn her of what's going on as we get more questionable timing, since you can see the obvious daylight on the cabinets behind Laura. Seriously, movie, pick one. It's either day or it's night. It cannot be both.
There's ghosts, they're real ghosts. One of them possessed a suit of armor and tried to kill us.
Cute story.
And you're still grounded.
No, Mom, I'm serious.
It's no joke, Miss Griffin.
Oh, well, if two people tell me the same thing, then it must totally be true.
How can you live in this place? It's haunted.
Haunted? Why, whatever do you mean?
We heard all these noises, and there's these pictures with eyes that move.
You have a wonderful imagination. You'll have quite a career writing horror movies one day.
His career will be lucky if he makes it past 2006. I give you a hint. It doesn't. Laura does call the police. However...
I don't know. Something weird's going on over there. My son just called and said there were ghosts after him.
Sure, lady. You almost had me there for a moment.
My God, you're as stupid as Bart was in Blazing Saddles.
And isn't it a lovely morning?
Up yours, nigger.
What did you expect? Welcome, Sonny. Make yourself at home. Marry my daughter.
Laura heads to the house in full Invisible Man getup because, you know, that won't draw any attention to her at all. While we get another unsubtle attempt on Josh and Eddie's life.
Without your parents finding out. I hope you won't get in too much trouble when they come to get you.
I'm sure I'll be fine. But, you know, I really should be going.
Nonsense. Here you go.
What was that?
Oh, just a little nutmeg. Now be careful, the cups are hot.
Are you seriously asking only what she put on top and not about the fact that both cups appear to be bubbling and overflowing with a slight fog?
And they are so dumb.
Also, the drinks are obviously meant to be hot and yet served in metal cups. How are you not like this right now?
Ted. What is it? I'm in tremendous pain, Ted.
Carl's appearance at the door allows for the boys to pull the drinks away and, of course, learn they were poisoned. Which Josh should already know. He overheard them plotting to kill Eddie. Also, wasn't the plan supposed to be to make it look like an accident? What about that looks like an accident? But of course, because these are cartoon villains, let us not forget the obligatory Flower dying from being poisoned moment. My God, the alternative ending to Little Shop of Horrors is right. The plants really are trying to take over. Instead of making for the front door, which was literally a few feet away, Eddie and Josh go somewhere else as Carl falls into Olivia and Bernard's trap. And by trap, I mean he is hit on the head with the fakest looking metal pipe I've ever seen.
Well, the boys don't seem to be down here. Maybe we should go back upstairs. Oh.
Let's not say we did.
I mean, seriously, I think my Nerf swords look more realistic than that. Oh, and this happens.
You don't like firecrackers with your tongue, you know. Here we go.
For no reason at all. Just happens. Which is really how you could describe a lot of scenes in this movie.
What did you do with him? He's in the dungeon. We'll dispose of him with the rest.
No problem. I just gave the two little brats enough cyanide to knock out a white buffalo.
Oh, that'll look really accidental.
Of course it will. They got into the poison cabinet by mistake. It happens all the time.
Then we're rich.
No, we have to dispose of the bodies.
Just obvious question. Do you understand how this plan is supposed to work? You need bodies to prove they are dead, and to prove they died accidentally. If you dispose of the bodies, then you have nothing to prove they are dead. All you have is a child going missing and not turning up whilst entirely under your care. What you would have actually done is implicate yourself in a murder, along with additional evidence, like a husband going to your house and not appearing again, and a mother who gave up her child because she feared his safety from you. What I'm saying is, unless you're going to attempt the Chewbacca defense, you wouldn't have enough time before you're thrown in jail to say not guilty.
The best laid plans of mice and men.
What? Best laid plans of mice and men?
Yes, well, I don't think men have got much to do with it.
Josh and Eddie have a scene again, which accomplishes nothing, but does try for a joke. I think.
Oh no. Here we go again. Let's get out of here. Go.
Is that a joke? Because I'm having a hard time telling by this point. And then we move on to effects that make the Haunted Mansion ride at Disney look frightening. I have so many questions about that little scenelet, but I'd just be repeating myself. A piano starts playing all by itself when Josh and Eddie run into another room, because why the hell not?
Now that was some serious commotion. You had to hear it.
We got a little thing called probable cause to consider.
So when do we take him in? When he come running out of the house with a bloody butcher knife?
Because, yes, that scene was necessary. Also, probable cause, you just heard what sounded like a woman screaming. Or maybe Ted Mosby.
Sonny? I don't know about you, but I'm getting tired of this running and screaming stuff.
You're tired? All you've done for the last 15 minutes is run around and scream. By this point, your audience has slipped into a coma, which is still more entertaining. Laura finally arrives at the house, with one detective who sees her, not thinking that she looks suspicious at all. And now, my dear audience, I present to you the single most idiotic combination of poor directing, poor editing, and all-around poor filmmaking.
Let me think. Yes, I got it. Off with everything. Quietly, keep your cool. You can do this, Laura. You can do this. If nobody comes, you'll be fine. Think. Off with this. Yes. Yes.
Say what?
Are you fucking kidding me? Not only does she stand in full view of anyone watching as she strips down to become invisible, not only does a cop see her doing this and seem only mildly surprised at what he sees, not only does she bizarrely talk to herself during all of this for no apparent reason, but the background for the green screen is quite obviously a daytime picture instead of the nighttime when the scene is set. What even the hell, movie? Did you just not care? Did you not notice? Did you just honestly think that your movie says it's meant to be for kids, that you could just be as lazy and shiftless as possible? Because fuck you, movie. Fuck you on so many levels. Olivia ends up getting pushed past by Laura as she makes her way inside, and doesn't question it at all. The same problem I had with the first movie because it makes no sense. As she apparently finds both the boys through pure luck. Which is where we then get what may be the single most stupid moment in the movie.
You stay here. I'll go rescue your father. What have you gotten yourself into, Laura?
That's right. Laura hid behind something when she was invisible. So now let's check in once again with our nominees for stupidest moments in the movie. We've got the lawyer telling people with motives how they can become billionaires. Josh not fleeing when overhearing a murder plot. Dull surprise detective witnesses Invisible Mom. And finally, Invisible Mom hides behind something while she's invisible. And our winner is... Of course it was going to be Invisible Mom hides behind something while invisible. Let's get a round of applause, folks. Because how fucking dumb is this family? I mean, Josh heard people clearly plotting to murder Eddie and yet didn't tell them to run. The dad walks into a house after clearly hearing a contradiction in that they haven't seen Josh and yet Bernard says they have. And then finally, the mother doesn't understand that while she's invisible, she doesn't need to hide behind something. Who are these people? Are they the common clay of the New West? Are they people of the land?
You know, morons.
Bad timing results in Laura becoming visible and caught, and Olivia doesn't question why she's naked, because perception is for characters in better movies, apparently.
We should have jumped them. Yeah, and then we all would have been caught. No, we gotta do this sneaky-like.
Yeah. So what's your plan?
I don't know, I'm just making this up as I go.
Somehow I think that's what the writer was saying as well.
Those ghosts ain't real, pal. Now, Olivia tried to poison us, and I'm willing to bet that Cousin Bernie was the guy in the armor.
Which means that the moments and screams are probably off the record.
Really? You know perfectly that they were off a record and not say something like a tape, which would be much more likely given the time frame? All I can guess is that he must be psychic. To explain why he did no more movies after this one.
Down, Cousin Olivia.
Come on, get serious.
Yeah, kid, I wouldn't go poking around in a woman's underwear drawer. You never know what you'll find.
Dude! Oh, I am so jealous of you. Oh, yeah.
Excuse me.
Brittany.
What are you guys doing in my mom's room?
Oh! Ridiculous. Forensics would find you out in a heartbeat.
Tell that to my dearly departed cousin Edward.
Edward I, the brat's father.
He underestimated me too. Paid the ultimate price.
Okay, given their current plans for murder, I can only assume that they just accidentally killed their brother and thus went along with it to pretend that was the plan all along. Because really, when you think about it, they still had to wait 12 years after they murdered him to try and get Uncle Randolph's money. These people are not intelligent in any way, shape, or form.
But then another heir showed up and, well, naturally, he has to be disposed of as well. Heir today, gone tomorrow.
Seriously, none of their plans make any sense. I swear, in comparison, Paradox's plan from Bonds Beyond Time is beginning to make sense to me.
All I had to do was invent time travel, then go back in time, and kill Pegasus. And then the future would be better.
The boys trick Jekyll and Hyde, yeah, I'm running out of names to call these two, into going upstairs, allowing them to free Laura.
Let's make it work for us. There's a set of shackle keys hanging by the skeleton over there. Unlock us!
How do you know that?
These are handcuff and shackle keys.
Bernard heads up the stairs to find Laura, but instead finds the tables turned on him. Because for some reason, he let go of the gun. Just play the clip. Laura attempts to scare Olivia by mimicking what she did earlier, but then does something even more special. Obi-Wan Kenobiing it.
How could she do that?
Repent for all eternity.
Eternity? I don't think so.
You know, movie, if I want to see a scene where the antagonist is scared by someone pretending to be the person that they themselves have killed, then I'll just watch Matilda. The pair keep running about the house until the police eventually arrive, possibly called by Laura, but it's never really confirmed, and they're taken away, to hopefully be charged with as many things as possible. The lawyer and Eddie's mother finally appear, making me wonder when their scene was supposed to have taken place during all this, as we end the film as some combination of what would happen if Macaulay Culkin had been allowed in a Goosebumps episode.
If we're all here, who's playing the piano?
So what did I think? Well, it's impossible to call this movie good in any practical fashion. The directing and editing are laughable, given the constant errors in continuity, and characters who seem far too calm, despite a lot of things that to any rational person should be weird. The characters range from any level of overacting to almost emotionally dead, and every stop in between, which ends up leaving a lot to be desired. And speaking of things to be desired, any developments and actual interesting plot moments that this film could have had seem to have been forgotten about whilst sandwiched between scenes that either repeat themselves over and over like a broken record, or have little to no place in the movie as a whole. Which of course leaves us with characters who have no point in being there. Even the eponymous title character seems to actually do very little during the movie, which is just like the first one in that regard. However, I will say something in the film's defense. The people on IMDb were right. It is better than the original. Not in any intentional way, mind you, but it's far less painful hour-and-a-half sit in comparison to the threadbare plot the first movie trotted out. And you could almost say I liked this movie. Well, at least in the same way I like things like Space Jam, The Room, Dragon Ball Evolution, and The Last Airbender. Because while I wouldn't honestly sit down and watch this movie as entertainment, I could certainly see myself and some friends watching through this and making fun of it scene by scene and line by line, making each other laugh until the end credits. However, this film is like the original that started me on this path. It's the epitome of the kind of movies that get trotted out as kids' films and are just widely accepted as being what they are. Movies with no heart or soul, with no passion in the writing or production that just makes the whole thing come across as a cash grab of people making cheap movies so they can make money off the people who would willingly buy this junk. So I ask you now to help me continue talking about these films and expose the continuous floodgate of cinematic crap that makes up the family genre as a whole. Because whether it's watching, commenting, sharing, subscribing, or hell, even becoming a Patreon sponsor, I've been doing this for on and off 3 years and would like to keep going. And I really would like you all to join me as I do. But for now, I've been Tyas, this has been Tyas Looks At, and the 3rd year anniversary video. And I'll see you next time. If you want to see the next one of these videos early, why not donate some money to the Patreon page? Or subscribe to this show's Facebook page or Twitter feed, so that way you can know when the episode is released to the general public. No matter what, thanks for watching.